Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Misty Hills, here in fall in September, and today I'm going to get field 24 replanted and get a new crop growing on there. I'm going to go ahead and go with wheat, but in the interim I'm going to go get my tractor here repaired. So it needs that and some fuel. So get that taken care of. So we've got maintenance done to the tune of $28,000, and then we'll get ourselves some fuel, and then we'll be able to get going on the planting. Alright, so we're here connecting, or trying to. I guess I was too far back, so it didn't give me the option, but there we go. Alright, so you can tell we've got weeds present at this point, so that means we're definitely going to have to deal with weeding, or treating weeds is actually what we'll be doing. So get everything lowered and running. I'm pretty sure, I think wheat does, let me turn on the crop sensor. So I think wheat does quite a bit as far as the number of seeds. It's not too bad down here right now. It's on the low 180, but I think as we go up to the other soil, where with the oats we saw that we needed a high seed rate. I'm imagining the seed rate's going to be similar regardless of crop as far as low, medium, high. It just obviously the usage adjusts some based on what type of crop we're planting. So the other challenge we have is wheat is pretty fertilizer intensive. It needs a lot of nitrogen. Now we'll go ahead and we'll start running up and down the field now that I've done my two bottom headlands. The lag is not helping again. I think looks like I got it on in time. So I did learn, obviously running this field once before now, I do need to do one headland on the top, but I'll run there and back because I basically then want to keep working from this side of the field. But the thing definitely that is nice is with this big tractor, I'm able to maintain speed even though I've got a pretty good incline, and really the field gets steeper on the other side. As you can see, this isn't too bad of a hill at this point. I mean, it has a little bit of an angle. The trees aren't doing well. Let me zoom in. So, there we go. So, let me go ahead and run this. I want to, again, not miss the edge. Goodness gracious. I didn't mean to miss the edge, but the lag got me again. I do not understand. I kind of was hoping I wasn't talking much at the bottom of the headlands because I was like, well, we'll let the server get the lag out, which it usually does in the first few minutes after you log in. This has been some time now, and obviously we're still struggling with that, so not sure how this will go. Just trying to maximize the distance, but not miss part of the field. That's always the challenge, kind of the diametrically opposed goals. But what I'll do is I'll get here and then I'll turn around and come back, and that will help because that will give me a little extra width on this end as well. So we're now out of the one seed compartment, but I am definitely going to need to go and repair or replace the fertilizer because clearly that is not working anywhere near the way I would hope. It's really going out, so there we go. We're now at medium seed level. So 300 seeds, not terrible. And then I forget what the high one is, if it's like 540 or something. It's up there a bit. I don't know that I'll ever hit high on this field. I hope not. So definitely I'm going to need to keep an eye on things and go and get it filled when it's time to do that. So we're definitely getting some variability on the nitrogen, which is good, because that may then change my consumption a bit. Maybe we'll keep it a little bit safer as far as the quantity, although I don't know, it's still heading out, although now it's back up at like 150 or something, so that's been part of the issue. And a little more lag here at the end. So, yeah, a lot of times the fertilizer continues to apply when you're doing something like this on the turnaround, so I tend to try to avoid that by turning the seeder off and turning it on when I need to. If I'm fully on the field, it's usually okay, but other times it's definitely a bit of a challenge. So the variable seed rate back down to the low end here as I'm working the field, so it's good to see that, because once again that conserves my supply. But we have a pretty big field here. Now the yield on wheat tends to be high, but therefore that usually translates into the crop selling for significantly less per thousand than the oats did. So the oats, if you recall, were around 430 to 450, and when I checked wheat, that's closer to 260, 280. So not quite half as little, but it is less. And I believe it generates slightly less straw, not significantly, per what I had seen result on field 26, when we had that kind of as a stopgap to at least try to get a little bit of hay, and then when it became apparent that that wasn't going to be enough to keep things going, I really wasn't that worried about continuing there and was waiting for this field to come available. So now that I'm further over on the field here, you can kind of see we are slowing down a little bit. We're only going 10 instead of 11, and now we're down to 9, but it's still not bad considering the gigantic equipment we're hauling behind us. So definitely like this tractor and the power of it. It's one of the reasons it's one of my favorites, because it definitely does the work. So I'm going to have to go refill shortly. Coming up onto the FSN site here. So we've got to go to the green, which is the dry items. So if you've never loaded one of these before, you can see the arm coming out. Basically, that's the small target we have. And so those first two bays are for the seeds. So the arm will kind of line up with that. It just becomes a bit of a challenge then for other parts. So we're just kind of looking for where it says refill, because that arm is going to kind of move further and further back. So I don't want to adjust too much if I don't need to do that. So there we go. And then we'll do that. You can see there it kind of turned a little bit forward when it slid, but then when it goes to the fertilizer in the back, it does quite a bit different. So see how it's rotating there. And now there's always this little bit here where it kind of needs Almost needs to be re-triggered or something. There we go. Now, oh, I see. I guess I can load it fully with seeds. I did not realize that was even an option, but so you could fertilize with something else and just have lots of extra seeds, I suppose, in the planter and go from there. But that is not what I'm trying to do. I do not want to go through the field twice if I can avoid that. So that gets us there, and then before we go down the road, we just kind of close everything up again. And then that does a great job, and we are full. That will definitely get the field done this time. But, you know, we're using a good amount of seed and fertilizer, that is for sure. So if you've ever lived in a farming community, you know, you probably have seen stuff like this where an implement just takes the entire road up. It's always got to be a challenge, I would imagine, when you're around during planting season or harvest season and farmers are trying to get around to their fields, but it's obviously something that's necessary. There's no magic way to get there, especially here as we get near the farm. We've got trees near the road, we've got all kinds of things going on, so definitely an interesting setup. So we'll start unfolding, because that does take some time here. Because I could go ahead, yeah, there's not really a reason to start down here. I was going to say I could start at the bottom end and just come up to the middle, but then I'd have to continue forward to the edge or something. It's not terribly efficient to do anything else. So yeah, I planted a few seeds without fertilizing. That's the kind of lighter dirt that has gone over. So when I ran out, this planter is now letting me seed. It doesn't just automatically stop functioning like sometimes it used to. So now we'll go through there. There we go. We've darkened up the soil, and now we're obviously continuing as we were. I will continue doing this work and get this field planted, and I'll return once I'm done and we'll talk then. So I'll see you in a bit. Planting is completed, so I'm gonna go park my equipment over as normal, and at this point I just now need to go and check on the status of the cows, which is kind of going to become the norm for almost everything I do every time I'm in the server. As I drove by to refill the cedar here, the hay looked a little bit low, so I'm not at all going to be surprised if I need to do something there, but we'll take a look. Running over here as the cows are enjoying the afternoon, walking around. Looks like there's some eating away in there in the trough. So, as one might expect with a full barn, there's cows everywhere. So hay's actually not too bad. We're at 50,000. Again, we've got food at 59,000. So if I come take a look at milk, it looks like later in the year is going to be better. Right now, I'm at the lowest. Or wait, I'm in September. So yeah, I'm not too bad, but I could wait a couple more days and then I'll likely have my high point. Well, maybe not, because look at, I mean, 759, 745. Can't count Misty Hills Dairy, that's me, so I don't get paid from myself. But yeah, the high's like 758, and I'm pretty much there at some of these. Now, I think some of these are pretty far away, but what I will do is I'm going to go ahead and top up probably everything. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here running hay, silage, and straw over, and then I'll be back. I've gotten a good amount of silage, good amount of straw, maxed out on the hay, so I've got 13,000 liters of hay I'm going to return. So as you can see, I've switched from the tractor and the forage wagon to the trailer and the crampy. So capacity is mainly the issue. I can get almost 10,000 more liters in here. But in addition, I wanted to go ahead and get silage over into the BGA and get that moving again. So I'm here, gonna be able to get that back into here. I had 87,000 or so liters of silage here. I'm not sure if that was stuff that had been dumped by Mithras or that was just extra that he couldn't fill, and so he sold it to me and put it in my storage, which is perfectly fine. Or if somehow I had put it there, but that just seems like a lot for me to have moved over there. I need to head over to the silo now. Go ahead and get silage. Now this one is not nearly as fast in emptying, but the other challenge I've got here is I'm down to, 340 some thousand. By the time I empty this, I'm going to be below 300,000. So as I mentioned, I am at the point I probably need to get more grass in here and start fermenting boatloads of silage again, because if I've got to be filling the cow barn with 300 plus thousand liters, and I need to keep the BGA going every few days. So that's going to be the biggest challenge, because I just was not keeping the BGA topped off. I should be able to do better, because in theory I'm here more often now that the farm is actually operating, where before the challenge was, and part of why it frankly wasn't happening, is I only needed to come in here to move silage to the BGA. I was literally doing that, and taking 5 minutes or whatever it was, because it's just one and a little bit more. And so I'll probably go ahead and fill this and then split it between the BGA and the cows. It's just, I think I'm still going to be I'm not going to be able to empty the full trailer next time, but we'll try. We'll see how things go. But this will at least get that going. I probably could have done this earlier, and then all day when this was running, I could have been making some money off the BGA. But again, it's water under the bridge now. I can't really do anything to come back and get it. But if I recall, we get like 79,000 liters in here, so I might get another 20,000 into the BGA. I don't know that I have room for, say, 40,000 in the cow barn. I think I only have room for like 15,000. But probably then, between the BGA running, which only takes like a day and a half to get through that full amount, I'll probably have enough to empty the thing tomorrow when I come in to work on my weeds, because I will need to be back tomorrow to spray for weeds on field 24. Question is then, will I also maybe work on getting grass here for silage and so forth? Because right now I have a good amount of hay, I have a good amount of straw. So the straw that I took over, that was the first load out of the hayloft so far. So I did my harvest in June, so I've gone June, July, August into September, and then I finally needed to run more straw over. So that kind of gives you an idea. The straw is consumed at a much slower rate, so I think I'll be alright. It's just gonna be a determination of when I want to replenish. I think I'm still gonna go ahead just to see what my throughput is on that field, because it was harder to tell on field 26 because it was so small. I could tell I was getting a little bit more, but with the oats, but I don't know if that was just a quirk, where I think on a large field like this, given that I got basically 1.25 million liters off the field, I would imagine the variance is going to be bigger than a few thousand. So it's going to be easier to see and tell. Let's see. Like, I was worried I was too far away. But let's see how far down we get. Oh, so even less than I thought. I mean, it's probably about the right number because I had about 60,000, and if it'll take 79, I'm probably, you know, I'm at that point where I can't put a thought together. Hold on. I need to go there. So yeah, 76,000 is what I need, but that meant, yeah, 16,000, so that's right, because I had basically 59,000. So between the little bit I had here and there, because it's like 59,400, so that gets us to the full amount, but I don't think I'm going to be anywhere near being able to dump 42,000 into the barn here. But what I'll be able to do is kind of leave this in the vicinity, and either the barn tomorrow or the BGA, perhaps both, but I'm thinking the BGA by the morning, because it's going to be about 12 to 14 hours at least before I'm back in. So it's going to be nearly my half day, and so I assume it's going to use 20,000 or maybe even 30 by the time I'm back. So, whoops. Wait a minute. This is full? Or did I just... Oh, I see. I just got off the trigger. Like, it can't be full. I know it's not full. Alright. But that's, again, more than I thought I'd have left. So certainly not exactly what I need, but I'm not really using this to transport anything other than material for the cows. So I should be okay. Just trying to kind of stay out of the way here. So I think I'll put this over here, because the next job I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and move some milk over. Question is, where? So it looks like, well, technically the campsite is more, but the campsite, I know, that's here. So that is literally about as far away as I can get. I mean, that is my furthest sell point. Bubba Gump is down here, so this is customs. This is where we went just yesterday or whatever it was to go to Reverend Grain. Actually, I guess it was several days ago beyond yesterday, but went down there to Reverend Grain. So in essence, this is actually closer than Reverend Grain, and it's only $6 a thousand less. So for this entire thing, that means it's $300. So it's not worth all that extra distance just for that. That would be a little crazy. So I am not going to do that. So let us take this down to Bubba. And the thing is, like, I could run, what, six loads, I think, 7 loads. Actually, probably more than that, because I thought I had 360,000, but I don't know that it makes sense to run a non-full tanker down. It's not as if it's creating it so quickly that it's going to fill up. I don't even remember the last time I sold milk. I think I did sell it while we still could sell at customs. Yeah, that was a good distance. Because the other one was Hobos, I think. I'm trying to remember where. Because I think Hobos is over here. So whoops, I'm running off the road. That's always the danger of peeking around here. So yeah, Hobos is 746. So those are my points. Is basically the campsite straight down here to Bubba, or Hobos, which is also kind of over in that corner. So really, my sell point, unless there's a significant difference, is going to be Bubba's. Because even if, let's say, I have a $20 per liter difference on 50, that's going to be $1,000. So for everything I have in the barn, if I ran 7 full trailers down, it's $7,000. And I don't think that's worth it, frankly. I mean, 7,000 sounds like a lot, but when you realize it's $20 against $750, so it's a very small fraction. Let me figure out, because obviously I've never been here, so I don't know exactly where the drop-off point is here. I'm assuming it's over there. It's a bit of a challenge to... I'm not going slow because I'm going slow. It's just that's how long it takes. So, alright, so I can dump it here, and you'll see what I get. So, keep in mind, I could get $1,000 more against what I'm going to see here. So 38,000, and really it's, you know, 40,000, 41,000. And yes, my environmental score would go up by whatever percentage on the 1,000 it would be as well. So there would be a little bit of an increase there. But, you know, if we wanted, I guess, keep it apples to apples, I'm getting 1,000 against 38,000. So I could have, and that's if it's a difference of 20. So once again, the milk right now is a difference of 6. So I would be getting 300 against 38,000, which isn't even 1%. You know, and the pricing obviously would work. It's 3%. It's 750. It's not even 3%, because that would be technically 2250 would be 3% against 750. So I would contend not worth it to drag it anywhere unless I can get maybe $100 difference, which isn't going to happen in game. So the only thing might be that customs might make sense, but this is where I have a problem. Is, you know, now cheese is 1900, so it's 2.5 times more, but it produces it so slowly. Like, it is worth it, but it doesn't consume that much milk. Now, right now, my dairy is full, so that's my challenge. This is why I needed the trailer off to the side, because I knew I'd basically be driving in and around here as I keep running milk back and forth. But yeah, if I basically am going to get 40,000 for each load here, I mean, you can do the math. If I'm running 7 trailerfuls over there, it's over $250,000 of milk. It's pretty good. So that is what I am going to go ahead and do. I'm going to get that done. But at this point, I think I've certainly given you everything you need to see. There's not a whole lot other than getting to that bottom amount. And then obviously the cows, everything else, the production costs are going to continue to go out. So you may not see exactly $2.3 million when I'm in here next time. There might be something else. But we will be back here to do the weeds, and that will take place in the next episode. So I'll see you next time.